Sorry about that. Had to let the cat in. Okay, so the King of Wands has to do with something about your plans also. So it indicates an important plan that you might be having, which would be your recent past. But the Seven of Swords, sevens are mostly about a time for reflection, assessment, and gaining some knowledge. So also you might be blocking something. Sevens usually have something to do, is your first card, has more or less something that wants to come in, but you might be blocking it. It's success over problems. Could be a clue. You might have something that you're worried about, or might be making plans for something that might have to do with somebody's health. Or maybe you're worried about somebody's health at this time. Tens are always about changes in emotions. It's like the wheel. This might have something to do with an unjust situation from a lover or friend. You're wrongly treated for no reason. That's what's influencing the situation. Your near future is the Four of Swords, and let's see, swords, like I said, is taking a assessment of a situation that's going within and turning a situation that might be bad into something good. It has to do with foundations. It's sorrow in our own home, or there might be possibly an illness. So maybe this King of Wands is going through an illness. And that might have been what has happened here. But there's a lot of wands, so there's a lot of thoughts. I mean, a lot of swords, excuse me. So there's a lot of thoughts going on in your head, you know. Everything's going kind of too fast in your mind. So you might want to slow down and get into hangman position. This is a major arcana card. And that is basically looking at things from a different perspective. It's turning a bad situation into something good, looking at it from a different viewpoint. When you draw this card, it indicates a great deal of indecision and hanging in limbo. It suggests that you might have to give something up, but maybe not sure if that's what you want to do. It's also meaning that doesn't want to let go, although it most likely is the best thing you can do. So whenever you release something that is kind of holding you back in your thoughts, when you release it and turn it around, look at it from a different perspective, it's probably in your best interest to do that. So, that being said, your outcome is the Hierophant, which is good. It's about being a teacher. The Hierophant is able to give guidance and is a teacher of the masses, one who takes everyone who comes for learning. It also represents high karma. So, we're going to get a little bit more information with the oracle cards. Because this does look like, you might be trapped in your head a little bit. You might have to turn everything around. Or possibly somebody close to you or in your energy field might be feeling a little sick. But remember, it could take some healing. It does suggest that changes are coming in. And the Hierophant is a good card. It is about learning lessons. I'm going to say maybe you had to learn a lesson from a King of Wands, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. You had to go on and look at a situation differently. Possibly with your emotions instead of being in your head all the time and letting something go. And that is the way you can heal and get into the Hierophant. So that not only can you learn from the situation as a lesson, but you could also teach others about it. So teaching people about possibly something that maybe got you stuck in your head. Or, like I said, it could be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius that may be having some poor health. Okay, so let's see. By doing this, getting into this energy, you will have sudden wealth. By letting all this thought processes go, kind of releasing whatever you're thinking about, becoming more grounded. Money has to do with Earth, Taurus energy, Virgo and Capricorn. So it could be related to your work, career, material, physical, practical, stability, and possessions. So once you get into this energy of maybe learning a lesson and teaching others about maybe your lesson, it might bring you sudden wealth. Okay? I'm going to pull 5 of these cards. Touching the boundless limits of the universe. So, once you get stuck out of your head and move forward by learning the lesson, looking at the issue at hand with a different perspective, once you get into this Hierophant energy, you're going to find that whatever you aim for, you're going to suddenly get, okay, here upon the earthly realm. In other words, the world is your oyster. You're boundless. The only limitations you have is yourself. So, once you get stuck out of your head and look at it from a different perspective, you're definitely going to remember that your limits are only self-inflicted, and you can, change the whole situation, and remember that you could do anything you put your head to, your mind and your thoughts to doing. Somebody in your energy field, possibly this King of Wands, was a misleading mask, bogus, shading true self. Or maybe you were shading your true self and are finally coming out and transforming. Kind of like a butterfly. You know how you go into a cocoon and then you come out of the cocoon, and it's called like a transformation and rebirth. So possibly I would say with this reading, you have become somebody that has transformed a negative situation into a positive situation by getting back into this Hierophant energy, being the teacher that you are. And you have, the world is your oyster. You have transformed. Light and dark, secret waves of change, silent shadows. Remember, we always, where there is light, there is always darkness. We can work with darkness, even when we're in the light. So, it's reminding you that there's going to be change coming in. The next card out is I'm indifferent, limits. No compassion, disinterested, neutral, emotional distance. It's asking you to get some emotional distance from probably this King of Wands. Because it was getting you nowhere. It was making you feel a little bit too much trapped in your head. So that is what the universe is telling you right now. We're going to get some tea leaves now. I only see one person, so could be you, the King of Wands. It's a fire energy. So let's get some tea leaves and see who we might be talking about. Is this you, or is this somebody in your recent past? Because it looks like the Seven of Swords. You might be taking some kind of assessment on a situation with a King of Wands. But we're going to find out a little bit more. This is going to be a short reading. I'm going to do a different reading too later today. Oh, Seven of Swords. So yeah, you're taking an assessment, but overall you're going to transform into a teacher role. And remember that the universe is telling you that you have no limitations except for what you put on yourself. So anything is possible, which is wonderful to hear. Okay. There may be a woman dealing or relationship with a woman might be involved. The Elephant. It has been a long journey, either physical or mental. This will leave you wiser at the end. So yeah, you've had a death and transformation. It's been a very long journey, possibly physically and mentally. It's a lesson that you have learned concerning this King of Wands. So you're transforming it. You're getting out of your head and looking at the whole situation or problem in a different perspective, and that will bring you here. It will also give you sudden wealth. And you will be going in and out of light and dark. So possibly something that might have had you a little confused, because there's a lot of thought processes with the swords. Something that had you confused or something that was in the dark may come to light, and it may bring emotional distance, or you just have become uninterested because possibly this King of Wands here was wearing a mask, being very bogus with you. They were not being their true self. That's what I see. Okay, so there was a lesson here that you learned. And now you could become a teacher on the whole subject. Also, it's about Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. So now you're going towards your peace. and happiness. So that's good. Sometimes we all experience some temporary problems, but you could overcome them. The universe says that there is change here. Let's see, a rabbit. That's too much concentration with a sexual matter. Just one to a person. Could have possibly been in that energy, I would say. Could have been an older man. Dealings or relationship with an older man. I'd say that's who that person is. It's a bat. Take care, enemies are working against you. So, some of you might be talking ill about you, but remember, don't get in your head too much about it. Something might be brought to light in July concerning this man, older man, who is wearing a mask, who is a fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. Might be working against you. They're mostly concerned with sexual desires, though. Truth being told, okay? It says, they might want to reconcile with you, but I would suggest that since this is a lesson, it probably isn't a good idea because the universe is asking you to be indifferent. There's no compassion here, disinterested and neutral. You're being asked to create emotional distance and keep it that way. Because you're the star, guaranteed success. And that's what I see for you during this reading. Let's see, I do want to give you a message from Ganesha so that you become grounded, because there's a lot of air energy here. Swords has to do with air. You may get some communication from this King of Swords, who is an older man. He has been wearing a mask. He's been too concerned about sexual desires. I'm not sure if I could say that on YouTube, but we'll see. Maybe even turned into an enemy of yours. But since this is death and transformation, I would say that you learned a lesson, and now you could teach people about it. And so I wanted to get you, a card to ground, because there's a lot of thoughts here. I'm going to use the Ganesha cards. You're going to want to go in to look at things from a different perspective, because this person was wearing a mask. Let me show you. This person here was wearing a mask. Okay? Might have been an older man. He was too concerned about sexual desires or energy. He may be creating problems or talking ill about you. But if you just go and become grounded instead of stuck in your thoughts, and if you go in and think about the situation differently, go into hangman position, you will become indifferent, and you will get into the Hierophant energy. Hierophant is your belief systems and your traditions. So possibly this person wasn't going with your belief systems and your traditions, but once you get tuned back in with yourself or do a transformation, work with the light and darkness within you, you will know that you have no limitations. Okay? Get out of your thoughts. Remember that the universe has something better for you, and this may cause sudden wealth. when you put up a block and get out of your head. That's what I see. You have become the star, which you are guaranteed success. You will possibly realize this in July, between now and July. Okay, so I'm going to get you a Ganesha card. And we'll see, how can you become grounded and transform the energy? And remember, you're going to want to take something that was bad and turn it into something positive. It's kind of like using Temperance card. You're going to mix your light and dark and become one. And you might have to get out of your ego and ask for some guidance from the divine. To work with more light than darkness. Okay, let's see what Ganesha has to say. How can you become grounded and out of your thoughts? By your drive. Okay, that's the number 14, it's 5. It has to do with changes. Let's get this out of the way. So change is coming in. Don't fight against it. It's for your own good. It will cause, it's going to reveal to you somebody who is wearing a mask. You might have to look at it from a different perspective. The universe is telling you that you are boundless. You might have to get out of your head and say, you know what, I'm indifferent about this whole situation. That's how I feel about it, and that will bring in sudden wealth. And this is mostly about changes. Okay, this is Ganesha. It's a 5. Hope you can see that. It's not blurry. Let's see. Hopefully you can see that. Changes. It's about drive, your drive. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. And that will bring in sudden wealth, make you feel indifferent, and it will show you that you are touching the boundless limits of the universe at this time. Once you transform and make these changes. So that's a 14. Its confidence as well as unity of purpose and control are desirable. Ganesha urges you to think about getting back to the basics. It is a great time to listen to the inner voice and lighten your load or simplify your life. You may have had a tendency to overextend yourself or overcommit to social activities or a person. Cut back on your schedule so you can zero in on something you are called to do. This card indicates new motivation or inspiration. If you have been feeling stuck in a situation or finding a solution, rest assured the energy is going to start moving again. You do not have to choose to go alone on your path. Make sure that you do bring others with you and they have the same goals and objectives in mind. Pay attention not to linger in relationships or friendships that are going nowhere or settle just because you feel obligated. This is not a time to be complacent. If you want to create changes, explore what your options might be. There might be an increase in finances, but this is not a time to be spending money. Bide your time and prepare for what is coming. This might also indicate that a trip or extended travel is on the horizon. So, as you go through your travels of transformation, you might want to take a trip and get out into Mother Earth, and that will ground you. And don't hang on to something that isn't aligned with your best interest. Change is possible, so make some changes. It's time to transform something bad into something good. And how you're going to do that is get into the Hangman energy. And that being said, remember this is a collective reading, and you all take care. And I will happy and delighted that you did tune into my channel, and I will be back with another reading to keep you all updated on the energies that might be in your orbiting around you. So remember, this is a collective reading. Some may resonate, some may not resonate with you. Take what does resonate, leave the rest behind. Also, if you like my channel, please like, subscribe, and possibly leave me a couple comments. I do read my comment section, and I will also comment back to you. So thank you for tuning in, and that is all I have. Bye.